Okay, everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see it. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, today's session is about important skills of the future, and Matthew did talk about those skill sets in the previous group session, but we are going to go in more details about the and look into the future. That what does the future our future hold, and what are the two most important skill sets that are required in the future. So let's start with what does our future hold. So these are the four of the most important elements that I believe are in the future and can be easily ignored by the current generation, that how close this future is. So I'll put that into the perspective. Everyone's aware of I'm sure aware of the advancements that are happening in science and technology, but in deep down, like even in the companies like Google and Apple and Microsoft, all of these companies are working on these four major technologies: biotechnology, space civilization, intelligence, and mixed realities. And I'll go into each one in the detail and look into what kind of future are we talking about. I'll start with the biotechnology. And biotechnology is my first point would be humans are hackable machines that can be manipulated. And what I mean hereby is in the first time, like if we have artificial intelligence and automation along with biotechnology. And in the biotechnology, we are looking at sensors that are inside the body. I'll put that into perspective. Like, for example, we have devices like our smartphones that are not inside our body, but they're like an extension of our mind. And but still, they are getting data from us, all sorts of data, where we are and what our day-to-day activities look like. And even with the current data they have, they manipulate us, and they have the power at least to manipulate, and they give us the products that they want to sell, and yeah, set the emotions and all of that. But in the future, it's going to be much easier, and it's going to be way more than just where you are and what activities you are doing. It'll be like what you feel, and because the senses and it's predicted that we'll have 20 to 30 devices in 2030 to 2040 connected. Like each person has 2 to 3 devices today, and the number will jump to 20 to 30, and 20 to 30 devices that are connected to internet. And some of those devices will be inside the body. And the reason we will do that and that humans will adapt that lifestyle is because of better health and more luxury and services, and to have more comfortable lifestyle and to have more awareness. And that's why at the same time, all of that data can be used by those corporations. And I'll put up an example here. And for example, if the whichever the sensors in my body or whatever the smart devices we are using knows about my feelings, it can sell me products based on my feelings. And yeah, it becomes that's the humans become more vulnerable because of these senses. So it's an important thing to keep in mind when talking about the future. And and based on that, because the humans are hackable. So we need to understand the power of algorithms, and algorithms will have the power to make art, and that's a very strong statement. And what I mean here is that because of the emotions, because the machine can judge the algorithms can judge what I'm going through and what I'm really feeling. They can present me the artwork that I enjoy. And for example, if I'm sad, then I'll say, okay, I can tell my devices that, okay, tell me the top four therapists, take me to those processes that these top four therapists prefer. And without any human, for example, let's talk about yoga. Yoga is a great example, and it's taught by humans, and it's nowhere close in anyone's imagination that it can be taught by robots or automation or all of that. But if we look at on a deeper level, if we have sensors inside our body, then it can really look at our poses, can understand us way better than any other human being. Then it will have more, it will have more power than any other human being, and it can create more courses based on each human, because algorithms will have a better understanding than of oneself. Then, like for example, algorithms will understand me better than I understand myself, and that's a big problem. I'll talk about that later in the presentation. And yeah, what will it cost us? It's going to be a big battle, which is privacy. Privacy is going to be a big problem in the future, and one of the most important topics I believe that children should start and have more awareness. And because a lot of people are becoming victims of that they're not aware that how what is it costing, and nothing is free essentially, but privacy is one of the most important thing. And in my opinion, I don't want, like, I think there should be duality between both things, but I clearly see the health side winning more than privacy, and it will cost us privacy, but it's important to have that kind of awareness. And yeah, it's like we'll be outsourcing self-discovery process. And if we look at all the religions and all the ancient methods and all of it, it's all about self-discovery. And just because of our biological data, it will be that algorithms will have much better understanding than we even have of ourselves. So the solution for that, and for the solution for that is that there are, I think, three important topics that should be discussed publicly. And I think that starts with the future of education, what our education looks like, and we should keep in mind that about the future, what does our future hold, and what kind of life we'll be living. Because if we look at 2030 and 2040 and look at all the predictions, and based on the data that we have, and and we are educating children for the jobs of the future, then we need to talk more about the future of education, because the current education system doesn't necessarily prepare for those kind of jobs and for that kind of era where we have technological disruptions, and obviously we have to keep climate change in mind. I think these are the three most important topics. And based on that, and it's important to understand, because technological disruption will not happen like most people have it in mind, like it will happen in 2030 or 2040, and then everyone will take some time and adapt to it, and then it will be, yeah, it will be normal again. But it's not going to be like that. For example, there is someone is some sort of product manufacturer, works in a factory and has only skill set in that one particular sector, and there is some sort of automation, or if someone is a driver, and we are seeing the self-driving cars, and if self-driving cars come along, and that driver learns a new skill set, for example, he becomes a yoga instructor at the age of 40, and spends time and learns about it and adapts a new lifestyle. It's Then after 10 years again there will be technology. It will happen continuously, and there is one famous law, Moore's law, that the speed of technology doubles every year. And keeping that law in mind, it's important to understand that the world is changing in real time. In the past, it used to happen over generation, like after one generation or two generations, but this is happening multiple times in one generation in the near future. So the two most important skill sets. And based on all the technological things that I talked about, this very tech and geeky world, and it's important to have STEAM skill sets. But the two most important skill sets, I believe, is emotional intelligence and mental balance. And emotional intelligence, or what I mean by there is like having the understanding, because as soon as there is so much change in the environment, and there, it requires to adapt. It's very difficult to adapt if a person doesn't have emotional intelligence and mental balance. And if a person has a better understanding of building relationships and have better understanding of emotional intelligence and have a better mental balance, so if so that it can adapt new skills. So those are, I believe, the two most important skills, and that can continuously and to keep in mind that to continuously reinvent oneself, it's important to have these two skill sets. And there can be, in my opinion, no better skill that a person can have than these two. Even today and in the future, they're going to be more important than ever. And yeah, so you need to continuously reinvent yourself if you want to survive to 2035. That's I believe this closing message I would say is that it's very important to continuously learn new skills and adapt. And I think one of the analogy that Matthew gave last time was of the janitor and the farmer is like yeah, it's if the book is important for the person for a farmer to understand that he needs to prepare his children or her children for the jobs of the future, and so that they can have proper education. So it goes again. It's but this time it's in the current environment. It's more real time. It's like there will be technological disruptions every 5 to 10 years. It's already happening. Look at iPhone and look at all of this, but it happened at much more speed. And as Moore's law says, that technology speed will double every year. So that can put things into perspective. So these are this is what our future looks like, and these are the two most important skills. So now, anyone has any questions regarding the future and our vision? Hello.
No, I think you went over everything really well. I honestly don't have any questions regarding it.
So, but it sounds like very sci-fi and all of it, but it's not. There's this saying that today's science fiction, tomorrow's science. So it looks all very sci-fi, but we can already see these kind of tools developing there. It's not like totally stories. It's actual scientists and engineers are working to develop this kind of future. So it's totally predictable, and we have the data to make these kind of predictions by 2035. And anyone who is a parent basically needs to understand that what future really looks like. And if the parents are not able to adapt more modern technologies and are not able to understand future, it really becomes there becomes like an intelligence gap, and it becomes difficult to communicate with the future generation. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, me raising children right now, like I want them to be involved in artificial intelligence. I want them to adapt to it. I want them to understand this whole process, and I want them to be excited about it and want to learn more. So that's definitely what I'm working towards right now.
Yeah, and I sent you a bullet list with the skills that are going to be essential and that can help you a lot, and that includes Microsoft Virtual Academy, and I also gave a demo of how it works here in the group section. So that can be a good starting point even for children and for the parents to to learn more about STEM technologies and STEAM. So yeah, that is one thing I recommend. And yeah, Matthew, do you have any opinion on all of it?
I do not.
All right, so yeah, that's what I'm. That's what even in the Tao Learning platform. One of the reasons we believe we started Tao Learning platform was that the current education system is definitely not looking towards to train the current students and the today's generation for the jobs of the future. And if someone wants to perform in the future, and then it's really important that we work on it now. We talk about this education system now, and we train them in the with the necessary skills now, not like in 2035, because it will be a disaster if we start working on that in 2035. And majority of the current education systems are not focusing on it. And there again, there's a lot wrong except for these technologies. But these technologies, and the most, and one other thing here is that learning, it needs continuous learning as the world will change every 10 to 15 years. There will be huge disruption, and every time the disruption will be bigger than the last one. And it's important that continuous learning, continuous adapting the modern technologies, and having a better understanding, and all of that is very important. But most important skills are those two ones, which is emotional intelligence and mental balance. And that's where mindfulness works, where Zen approaches, and all of the duality comes along.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much, Zain. I'm focusing on that with my kids right now. The time is now to get them involved in artificial intelligence and get them involved in the necessary approaches that they need to take. And I'm really excited to get my kids involved in this whole thing. And I really didn't even think about it, but now I think about it, and it's exciting. It's exciting to have them a part of my learning process as well.
Right, and it's important to understand if we look at the stats and look at what kind of world we are living in, it's remarkable. And there are a lot of people complaining, but if we look at the stats, like more people are committing suicide than more people are dying in conflict and war. So that's a huge stat, and that's a huge improvement for human beings. But at the same time, it's worrying that the future person is more likely to commit suicide than to die in war, and based on the stats. And so that's why mental balance and emotional intelligence and mindfulness, all of this is very important to learn, and that's why I added them as the two most important skills. That's all sort of predictable now that, for example, more people are dying of obesity than starvation. Those are, we can look at WHO and all of these organizations and look at the stats, and it's mind-boggling that more people are dying because of obesity and than the starvation. So keeping that in mind is very important at this point, Flavia, to learn mindfulness and adapt Zen lifestyle and more minimal lifestyle, and focus on the things that really matter, and then also at the same time focus on the STEM technologies.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, and we do have a lot going on this platform, and I suggest that everyone participate more and more and be more active. And so, are you working on your Microsoft badges? Do you have that account?
I'm sorry, the Microsoft what?
Microsoft badges in Microsoft Virtual Academy, Microsoft Learn.
Yes, I am. I think I have like 12 batches so far. I've been doing at least 2 to 4 a day. And so I just keep looking at the ones that would pertain to what I'm interested in. And I think, no, I'm definitely, it's going well. And so I've been getting those badges.
All right. Yeah. So if you have any questions regarding that, yeah, just we can talk about them in the group sessions. And yeah, it's good that everyone works together and embrace hive mentality and work on, because we are working on the actual projects at the same time. So it will be really good if everyone participates and do something useful with their skill sets. All right.
Yeah.
That was all I wanted to talk about. Any questions?
No, thank you so much, Zane.
All right, welcome. All right then, I'll have another session after 2 days, and I'll schedule that and send an invitation. It'll be probably at the same time.
Okay, great. Well, you have a good day or night.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m.
Okay, well, have a nice morning sleeping,
All right.
hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So, all right, thank you for joining.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.